Hello, everybody, and welcome back to NCAA 2005. And we are here, getting into the second game of the season against the Wyoming Cowboys, who have yet to play a game so far this season. They were off, I guess, in week 0 and week 1. So they're just coming in just fresh for this game. But we're coming in ranked 28th in the country. So we're still budding here for the top 25, I guess, based on what we accomplished last season. Because our evaluation this season is still, I would say, pretty generous. The rankings in general in this game are fairly generous because I don't think we should be anywhere near the top 25 given our talent level and how much we struggled with Arizona State last week. Even though Arizona State, I think, is a decent team talent-wise, it's just the whole Pac-10 Sun Belt thing. We shouldn't struggle with the Sun Belt team as much as we did, going into 4 overtimes to beat the Sun Devils. So this game should be really telling to see, exactly where the talent level sort of lies. We should handle Wyoming pretty well because Wyoming's not a very good team. They're coming off a 4-7 campaign last season. That was good for 4th in the Mountain West last year. So they're not a very good team, but they did finish one spot above us in recruiting. I think we were 69th and they were 68th. So that's kind of the outlook here. So on paper, I guess they should be at least close to where we are talent-wise. But, obviously our rosters are in different positions. So 1 year of recruiting is not going to really dispel much here. I went forward trying to look at all the stats for a lot of their key starters and skill position players, their stats. And most of the guys on this team, there's seniors on here, but there are not a lot of stats for a lot of them. Like a lot of them haven't spent a lot of time starting. Their quarterback who's coming in today, it looks like he started at least most of last year, but he only has a little over 1,200 yards. So it's a weird situation in Wyoming. I'm not sure entirely what they're doing with their roster. It's not working well, but all I know is what's working well for us is our offense right now is we have a fumble, somehow fumbled inbounds. I think it was maybe Keith Bridges, or no, it was Trey Mosley it was Andy Matthews who fumbled inbounds, but I believe Trey Mosley is the one who landed on top of it. So, but that's going to bring up 4th down here. So we're going to bring out our new kicker here, Jeff Dennis, to try and nail home this field goal, and the kick is good. So after we ran pretty well in this first kind of drive of the game, we unfortunately have to end here with just 3 points, but good enough for us, right? Right? I would say so. So on the next ensuing kickoff here, we're going to send this one away here. Marvin Landrum's going to kick this one off, and it's going to get fielded by Wyoming in the end zone, and immediately it's a fumble as the kick return takes a massive just throttling of a hit to the upper body, and that ball pops right on out. So we're going to get a goal-to-go situation, and on 2nd and goal we're going to hand it to Keith Bridges, spin move inside, and he's going to get tackled to the side and fall into the end zone. So it's going to be a touchdown for the Vandals. So we didn't cap off our first drive with 6 points, but it looks like on this nice little gift that Wyoming gave us, we are going to do so. So 10-0 is quickly the score for the Cowboys, and now Wyoming is going to try and rely on their quarterback's fast feet. And he's going to fumble. It's going to be another recovery by the Vandals. So Wyoming's already just gifting us some sweet, sweet treats here early on in this game as Jordan Dodd, the Wyoming starting quarterback, was unable to make it to the ground safely here. And from behind, just a grueling kind of tackle, man. Just a grueling kind of tackle as Cal McClure, the freshman, gets all over Dodd and causes that fumble. So, but bring up 3rd and 10. You're just inside the 40. We're struggling to get to that first down marker. And Chester, down the seam of the field, is able to find an open receiver. I think it was Doug Nolan, I think, who's the 4th receiver on the depth chart. But I'm pretty sure that's who I saw. I think it's an 84 who I just saw. But yeah, I think it's Doug Nolan. He is a junior. He's been on the team for a while, so he's not new. But he just hasn't really developed all that much in this receiving corps. So Chester now looking towards the end zone, trying to cap off this drive here. Makes an awkward throw off of his off foot. I don't even know what that was. But what I do know is that it was an interception. So Ross Chester throws a pick the other way here, leans to the left and throws to the right. Now, I don't need to be a huge sports analyst or a huge talent evaluator or scout to know that that's not a good way to maneuver your body to try and throw the ball. So Wyoming gets a gift the other way, and now they're making the best of that opportunity as Dodd is able to find an open receiver to get another first down for Wyoming as they're going to continue to move the football, but the first quarter is going to come to a close. We are hanging on to that 10-point lead here, not seeing an awful lot to write home about, but 3rd and short here for Wyoming. Dodd's going to fake the handoff, nearly gets away from a sack and takes a shot towards the end zone, and it hits the hands of a Wyoming receiver, but unfortunately they cannot haul it in. So it looks like the running back, I think, is the one who's holding his head in shame, but I don't think it was really him. I don't know if it was him, but on the field goal attempt, that is also not good. So Wyoming really struggling here to do much of anything. They've held the ball for most of the game, but have not been able to do much of anything on offense with it outside of to either turn it over or now miss a field goal. So, but Wyoming's back on offense now as our offense is struggling to get anything going, and Dodd's going to try and run the option, but decides to just surge right up the middle of the field and get the first down for the Cowboys. So they will extend that drive. But now it's quickly 3rd and 9 against this Vandal defense. So hopefully our boys can get off of the field here in a huge tackle in the backfield. I don't want to call it a sack because clearly there was an attempt to run the football, but either way, it was not a smart decision. it was definitely not a smart decision as we had Jonathan Dangerfield, the freshman defensive tackle, in there quickly to snuff out Dodd. But Dodd's going to try and throw for it now here on 4th down because, hey man, if you're Wyoming, you can't kick it from this range, and you don't want to punt it either. It's an opportunity. So on 4th and 15, they're going to try and go for the first down, and that pass is just going absolutely nowhere except the ground. Should have went in somebody's hands, but it went to the ground, so we'll take it. So we're going to take over on downs here. Chester running around in the backfield. There was pressure coming, but he gets rid of it, and that is another completion out to Andy Matthews, the sophomore, who's just been getting increasingly more involved in this offense as the season is progressing here. So 1st and 10 now for the Vandals. We're going to hand off to Keith Bridges here, who's going to get to the outside, and it's a nice little run for him. Need to see a lot more of that. He didn't really do much of anything last year, which, I'm not going to fail to mention that he did much of nothing last year, but a nice little 9-yard pickup for the Vandals here. So on 2nd and 1, Chester's going to dump this one off quickly, and that pass is going to be caught by Trey Mosley, and it's going to at least be a first down to extend the drive for Idaho. But quickly it becomes 3rd and 10 here, just under 3 minutes in the second quarter. Chester throws across the middle, and that one cannot be completed, as I believe it's Doug Nolan again who just couldn't hold on to it. It hit him right in the chest, and he just could not hang on to it. So bring up 4th and 10 now, and Tom Lynch is going to keep the boys on the field. Chester rolls to his left, but throws to his right, and airmails that one into the dirt here as whoever that receiver was tangled up and was not really all that open. I think it was Trey Mosley. But so turnover on downs here, and Wyoming's going to take over as both offenses really just struggling to get any sort of momentum going at all, and that's going to be a completion here, but time is going to continue to roll as it was a tackle inbound, so the clock will stop to reset the chains here, but Wyoming now still running against time here with just 54 seconds left in this game. Dodd looks over his options here, throws one across the middle, and a diving catch is made. And it looks like it might have been Troy McGrady for Wyoming, who's, as you just saw on the screen, has been their leading guy, their leading producer on offense. So 1st and 10 for Wyoming here, running back up to the line. And Dodd once again across the middle, I think hits McGrady again, and it's another huge completion for Wyoming. Or actually, I think it was Wilson. It might be their backup quarterback. I was going to wait to mention this. Yeah, Dodd is clearly out of the game, but I was waiting to mention this. I never even noticed during the editing process of recording that they switched out their quarterbacks, but Wyoming has another quarterback. So their backup quarterback, who was listed on the roster, when I went to go write down the names, was a higher overall than Dodd is. He's an 84 and Dodd's an 82. But I think even Wilson is just has the better stats. But for some reason, Wyoming goes with Dodd. I'm not entirely sure why. If it's because they just want to run a lot of option and stuff. But even looking at the rushing stats for Dodd, he's not like a rusher. He's finished the last 2 seasons with negative rushing yards because of sacks. So he's not much of a scrambler for this team, but maybe that's what they're trying to do. I'm not sure, but it looks like because of the stagnation on offense here, they went with Wilson, their backup quarterback, who I guess should technically be their starter. He's even older than Dodd is. Dodd's a junior, and Wilson is a senior, so I was confused why that happened, but we have another drive on offense completely stall out here in the second half, and now a 28-yarder from Francis. The kick is up, and it is good. So now we will take a 13-7 lead here. We're still just kind of farting around with a 1-possession lead over Wyoming. So this is kind of the telling part I was talking about, man. How we struggle with Wyoming could really spell how good or bad of a team we really are. But Chester back on offense here, flips one out, and there's a whole mess of Cowboys in the area. But it was actually a pretty decent throw by Chester, man. He got it right where it needed to be to not be picked off or deflected. So I'll give credit to Ross Chester for a decent throw there. So Second and 4 now. Chester back to throw once again. Rolls all the way out, but throws it back across the middle. And I believe it's Doug Nolan again, man. He seems to be hitting Nolan quite a lot. This seems to be his guy, I guess. Maybe that's the one guy that Wyoming hasn't really schemed against. They haven't really figured out. So on 3rd and 6 here, Chester got to take a shot towards the end zone, but takes too long and is going to get a sack off of the edge here as Wyoming sends a big linebacker blitz, and it gets home to Chester as he just takes a second too long to make a decision. Probably should have released. I mean, look at that. He had enough time, so he should have just released probably a good second before the linebacker got there. But bring out Francis for another field goal, another chip shot of a field goal, and it is good. So that's going to be a just daunting stat to look at the end of this game, looking at our red zone chances and what we've done with them versus not done with them. So on a 4th and 12 now, Wyoming's going to have to punt it deep in their own end following that kick. And Roderick Williams is going to field the punt here, and he's going to get to the outside edge. He's got good coverage and good blocks here. He's got a step as well up the sideline, and no one's going to get home. And that's going to be a punt return for Roderick Williams. So we haven't seen much of anything from Williams in this game. I guess Chester's just kind of struggling to get the ball that direction. But a punt return, he's going to get himself involved no matter what. And on the 2-point conversion, we're going to go with a fullback dive the other way here to Stuart Malone. Or actually, it's Marcus Donnelly. We had Marcus Donnelly out there lined up at fullback, and Marcus Donnelly's going to get in for the 2-point conversion. So 24-7 quickly becomes the score here, but Wyoming still has some time on their hands, and they're going to try and make the most with it as that pass is completed for a nice gain for the Cowboy offense. So now Wyoming here is playing with a little bit of gas here, and that looked like Adam Woodson maybe. That's who it looked like in 84. It looked like Adam Woodson for Wyoming. But they're going to go on the ground now, going to go with a nice pickup from the running back, and it's going to be Reggie Johnson, who's got a lot of room in front of him here, and he's a junior. He's one of the older guys on this offense as well, but still in his time here. I don't even think he's really started. I think he only had like 100-something yards as in his time here with Wyoming. So I don't think he's been a primary starter. Wyoming must have been using other guys in the previous seasons, but the third quarter comes to a close, and we're hanging on to the 24-7 lead. We've really kind of chipped away at a lead here over Wyoming. It hasn't really been a pretty game, but we've slowly but surely added a few scores on top of Wyoming. And on a 3rd and short situation, Wyoming's going to go right on back to Reggie Johnson, and it looks like he's going to get the first down. The Wyoming faithful are pretty happy about it, so I'm going to assume he got the first down. But quickly it becomes 3rd and goal here, and that's Dodd again. See, they got Dodd right back in here. So Wyoming's definitely swapping between the two quarterbacks. I guess for that 2-minute drill, they wanted Wilson out there for some reason. I'm not sure, but they got Dodd back out there. He is their true starter. Like I said, he's their true starter, but he's going to get brought down shy of the goal line. So on 4th and goal, Wyoming's got to go for it. And the play action nearly gets snuffed out, but that pass is broken up anyway. An amazing batted ball here, and that looked like Dan Kramer, I think, the DB, the second DB on the roster, I think, broke that up. But on 2nd and 9 here from our own end now, after the turnover on downs, and Chester's going to run right into a block. He never saw it coming. Or run into a sack, not a block. He's going to run right into a sack. Never saw it coming. That pocket presence is just not there, man. I don't know what it was, but that was just terrible. So 24-9 is the score here, but we are still not done as we're moving on offense. Once again, another Chester pass goes across the middle, and that one's going to go to Trey Mosley. And there you see a receiving breakdown. What a gross break. Our third top receiver is Marcus Donnelly, the backup running back. I mean, that's the kind of game we're running on offense right now. And now Bridges, the starting running back, is going to get some open space here on the right side. Is going to get brought down for a first down. Continuing to chew some more time off of that clock, but we're thinking maybe add some more points. On 1st and goal here, Chester floats one out to the end zone. It's going to be caught for a touchdown. That one looked like Doug Nolan. It looked like 84 again. Hopefully we get another replay, a nice little better angle at it. And it was. It's Doug Nolan. Look at there. He's going to get himself a touchdown. I don't know how many he has in his career, but I know it's not a lot. But Wyoming is also going to try and strike the scoreboard one more time, and they do. And this time it is going to be Adam Woodson, the senior receiver. He's a senior, but again, actually it might have been the running back. I think, yeah, Reggie Johnson. Looks like it was Reggie Johnson running a route out of the backfield. So that's going to add another touchdown for Wyoming, but still the score 31-15 is going to be how things finish here in Laramie. And so it's not a great game for either team, really. I mean, Wyoming, I think, had plenty of opportunities to at least keep this game close. I don't know if they ever played well enough to win, but they just definitely had enough opportunities to keep it close. And we played bad enough to lose, but I guess Wyoming just played worse. I mean, the turnovers really, I think, kind of what set the tone for this game, because I don't think we were really playing well enough out of the gate to really do what we did on our own. It was really a combination of those turnovers and mistakes from Wyoming that kind of really put us in a good position here. So both quarterbacks play about just as bad as each other. I think Wyoming even outgains us. We did a little bit better on third down. Yeah, look at that. 7 trips to the red zone with 3 field goals. I mean, this should have been, you know what I mean? You consider those all touchdowns. This should be a 49 to 15 point game. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that just, it's ridiculous. It's bad. You can't go to the red zone that many times and just rely on 3 points. That's how things get out of hand for you quickly. That's how you lose games. So even if you are still getting points. Rochester, another bad stat line here, throwing the ball, not great. We definitely might have a starting quarterback problem. I'm dreading to see how good or bad that goes heading into Pac-10 play here. Keith Bridges puts up 100 yards, which I don't believe. I can't believe that he did that. He managed to do that. Cal McClure has a big day defensively. Jeff Dennis has a big day too, man. If he misses any of those field goals, it might be a different game. But we go into Pac-10 play with a big win over Oregon State, a big back-and-forth game, but we pick up a win against Oregon State in our first conference game, which is going to take us into our next conference game against Stanford, who, remember, blew us out and embarrassed us in Stanford last time. So we're going to see if we can maybe get some revenge on the 0-3 Stanford Cardinal here, now ranked 22nd in the nation. So hope to see you guys back in Moscow against Stanford.